are in the kitchen staircase. Going down. Alouette, Amrita, Sea Lark, Mr. Ben, Gucci, and us. This is number 2, and we must have about 6 to go. And what's this? Slippers on deck.
Just down Nelson's staircase. Patty on the helm. Last couple of locks before the basin, before the Corpac basin. Alouette's in, Amrita's in, Sea Lark's in, Windsong is in. Here comes Witchy. Pretty as a picture. And Alec. And Richard. And Robert's nephew. And Caledonian. And there's the steam train to Mallaig. David and Anna pulled in behind us at the diesel berth, and we're just waiting to get served some diesel. And there goes the train. There she goes. To sea. Mr. Ben on Sea Lark. Amrita is out. And Alouette is out. And there we are, Patty, out to sea at last.
Out. Free.
We've got the sail up and the wind is astern. This is unheard of, coasting down Loch Linnhe. And there's Ken. And there's the fleet. And we were like a painted ship upon a painted ocean. We came romping down Loch Linnhe and the wind has died away completely. And here we all are, stuck. Stuck with limp sails. course, they all think they're racing. Well, we made it to Port Ramsey. We had quite a fankle with the mainsail when we put it up. Skipper was not happy, moaning about 26 knots and do this and do that. She got herself in a light little twist. However, we got it up eventually, and now I've got it all fixed. The reefing lines are in the wrong place. I don't know what she was playing at, putting the reefing lines in the wrong place. Anyway, here we all are at Port Ramsey. There's Witchy, and Amrita, and Alouette, and Sealar, and Mr. Ben, and Anna. This is the first time we've been in this northern anchorage. We usually go in the other side of the island there to the southern anchorage. Well, at least the first time I've been in this northern one. But well, the wind is from the north, so therefore we came in here for a bit more shelter behind that island and these little islets. So we're well sheltered from the north. 9:26, and it's a lovely still night now. Fine sunset. And we're snug in at Port Ramsey. There goes Ken. He's visited everybody in the fleet. What a man he is. A life and soul. And David's getting his dinghy blown up. .11:08. Here we are, leaving Port Ramsey. Just inside Alistair's Rock. That's Alistair's Rock there. Although it's gone outside Alistair's Rock.
Are we clear of everything now?
We're heading for quite close to the beacon there. See the beacon? But we're going round that. Not a way out where... We're not going away out where Rana went. We're going round that beacon there. We're coming around the north tip of Lismore by the ferry point. And over there is Appin. Port Appin anyway. How about a wee bit if you like. There we go. Jim. What's your depth? 5. That's fine. There you go. There's Jim looking pleased as punch. There's the skipper, navigated us errorlessly around the north tip of Lismore.
Thinking when we're heading
You watching your depth? Yes, you are.
7 meters here.
Perfect. Well, here we are, crossing Ardmarkness Bay with a boomed out Genoa and nothing else. Dead upright, wind astern, and look, here we go again. Tea on the cockpit table. The sun is shining. Man, this is the life. The fleet are ahead, except for Mr. Ben who's astern, and we are going gently. Well, here we are in Oban Bay. But we were in for a surprise when we got to Oban Bay because, let me just zoom out. Look! New pontoons in Oban Bay. And here we are on a new pontoon. Richie and Windsong and Mr. Ben. And further up, Sealark. So this is very nice for Oban Bay. And a complete surprise. Although we have seen it mooted in the press. I thought it was never going to happen. There we are. Oban Bay, acres of pontoons. They're not officially opened yet, so there's no one here to charge for them, and you've got to climb over a barrier to get off them. But that doesn't deter us.
We've just left Oban alongside Clem. Very noisy motorboat going up there. We're doing 7.5 knots a minute ago. Really a bit slower now that Dave's taking the helm.
That makes a change. What a day for a sail! 7 knots. 7.5 knots the skipper had her going at. Just the Genoa creaming along with the wind astern. With 34 knots of wind, no wonder we're doing 7 knots.
Whitby on the starboard side. Everybody's got short and sail because we don't want to get too soon, but we are just trying to catch everybody up. We've just come through Easdale. Rana behind us. The rest decided not to come. We went round a long way.
Here we are romping through Coon Sound with the tide and the wind, just at the ferry point here. Jim is astern, skipper's on the helm. We're romping through. Look at the tide. We're about to head up to avoid Cleat Rock. There's Sealark swirling in the tide. And Witchy behind her. There's us swirling in the tide too. Good wind against tide chop here. Witchy coming out. And who's that? Oh, it's Mr. Ben behind him, is it? Yes, it is, yeah. And we've got Sealark and Jim and Karen. A beam. What a lovely night. We've arrived in Loch Melfort and we've dropped the hook in about 6 meters and fallen back into slightly deeper water. And the wind is straight off the shore. Perfect lee. Excellent positioning. Great anchorage. Which is there. Rana's dropping the hook. Alouette's there. Ooh, I can't even see who that is in the sun. Oh, it's sea lark, I think. I thought he was anchoring ahead of us, but he must have changed his mind. There's Amrita. We're all here. And look at the day. Or the evening, I should say. It's just glorious. Glorious. It's fantastic, Patty. Rana zooming past. We've got you. There are a lot of boats in the bay apart from ourselves. Some sort of party was going on when we were coming in, a lot of boats rafted together. Oh, it's lovely. And we're going to be partying on board Alouette tonight. There will be mirth and laughter and song. Ken has had some trouble with his halyard. He's no sooner anchored than he's up there fixing it. Ben has dropped the anchor and he's getting organised. Well, I suppose it's David that's dropped the anchor really and is getting organised. Ken's still up the mast. 7:43 and look what the skipper's at. Look at it! Mushrooms, I can smell onions. I'm a food philistine, I freely confess. We had none of these fancy things when I was a bairn. Fajitas, eh?
You got an escort day?
I think so, yeah. One's approaching Alouette, and so am I.
Just about to attack him. Come on, Stephen, put your back into it. Trying. Oh, sweet man. Are you bringing the boys over?
If they're awake.
Okay.
At their age.
Yeah, if they've nodded off, you just come over yourself, buddy.
Ken's making space for fenders, or tenders, as the case might be. And Alex keeping out of the thick of it. Yeah.
Why does it suddenly start up?
We did a whole bottle full.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of
That'll
things.
keep us going.
Well, it's traffic. And that's probably swapping, and maybe the tension had changed, and the combination of the two, it kind of cemented together, you know, combination of things.
Yeah. More guests for Alouette.
That's fine.
Richard's poised there,
Yes, isn't he?
like a cat.
Highly poised.
He's ready to go.
Do you think we should phone up Raymond?
Maybe, yeah. In case he doesn't know, yeah. There's David solo. Surely Anne's knackered after all that anchoring.
They've not been arguing.
Look at
The
that.
guy's dying for it.
Have you got no pump, Robert?
What would you like? Dave, what would you like?
Can I have a red wine? I'm only staying for a little while, Pauline, so I'm just going to have a...
It's all right.
Look at that dinghy.
Thank you.
I wonder if Robert is particularly dense.
Are you canvassing for the boot?
Hang on, boys.
Quick before they sink.
Fans, are you wanting to go back round the mull?
To be
That's
honest,
what I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's what we want to do too. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'll only do it if the weather's nice.
yeah, well,
So will Trish.
Well, I'll wait out with Trish then. You can go with
the thing is, guys, the thing is, the holiday, there's lots of slack built in. There's lots of things that we can skip. So
6 a.m. Loch Melfort and its action stations. Everybody's weighing anchor. Except Mr. Ben, I hope they're awake. You saw them, Trish, did you? Good. It's a gorgeous morning. Sun is just rising, not a breath. And the early birds are long gone. Blue Moon's out of sight, is he? Oh no, he's just there. It's Amrita that's away. Blue Moon was first up with the anchor, I thought. Action stations on Rana. Look at the morning. That's Loch Melfort Boatyard or Marina. That's not where we were, although we've been there before. Oh, look at that sunrise. No, we were at the west side of the loch. There's the sun kissing over the hill. There's Ritchie and Alouette. And there's the anchored boats at Melfort Pier. And what a morning! There's the sun just gaining strength over the hill. There's a skipper on the helm. She's already taken us up to Alouette to pick up my camera from last night. Last night we had the legendary and usual sing-song on Alouette. We went through every song title from A to Z. We went to A, thought of a song beginning with A, and so on, all the way through the alphabet. There's heat in that sun this morning even at this time in the morning there's heat. Yeah. As soon as it peaks over the hill. I did put the fridge on. My domestic duties have been seen to. We're passing between another Shuna island. This is Shuna and Ellenkrieg. And there's Cruve Marina sticking out behind Ellenkrieg. Forest of masts in there. 7:35 on a glorious morning, and the Nairn fleet seems to have grouped again around us. There they all are. Just seen some porpoises, but they've just disappeared. Oh no, there they are. Not as exciting as dolphins, but a pleasant interlude. It's 8:45. We were steaming at right angles to our course to avoid the rocks back there, at right angles in the tide. There's some tide assistance here, it's wonderful. Looks like someone's super yacht coming up here. Looks like a plaything of the fabulously wealthy indeed, and I think we heard that Elton John was cruising the area in his yacht, so could be Elton. Ever since I was a young kid I played the silver ball, from Soho down to Knightsbridge I must have played them all. I never seen anything like him in any amusement hall. That deaf, dumb and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. We're just passing Ailen Moor, and we've spent the night in there before. With a southerly wind, that's a great little anchorage, and there are rings in the rocks to tie to. There's the anchorage in Ellenmore. And there's the little chapel. I took a walk up there the last time I was in Ellenmore. And there's another view of the chapel in Ellenmore. The motorboat powering up here. And there's the Paps of Jura coming out from behind Ellenmore. They're not particularly puppish there, but from further up the firth, they're perfect two domes. Just come past two fishing boats and a yacht. The yacht's a big southerly. Came ahead of that fella, and this fella I think was pretty stationary. So here we are approaching Gia, about 4 miles to our destination, which is down the east coast a little bit. We're nearly there. 1:13, sparkling seas and a gentle headwind now. We're approaching Ardminish Bay in Gia. Just round the corner there. And the skipper's below, going to take the forecast. We're at Gia. Ardminish Bay in Gia. And it's a popular little spot for yachts. We came in yesterday at 2 o'clock. The sun was beating down. It was like a Mediterranean spot. Campers galore, dinghies flying about, people in snorkeling. A little camping settlement there. Lots of folk around. It's a wee bit early for them just now. So we actually had a wee sleep in the afternoon because we were knackered after getting up at 5 and after partying the night before. Then we went out 8:30 for a meal right in establishment at the head of the pier. We had a meal in there with Ken and Pauline and Alec. And I just heard Ken's engine snorting into life. Sounds like a bull snorting. So I better nip below. No, I better fire up our engine, drop off our mooring lines attached to a mooring buoy, and get going, because we're heading round the Mull of Kintyre this morning, bound for Campbellton. Morning guys, morning.
We'll just potter along under sail.
Yeah, oh, that sounds great, yeah.
We'll aim to get there between 4 and 5, so we'll just speed accordingly, okay?
Perfect, perfect. Past 7, and we're motor sailing south down the Sound of Gia. We've left Ardminish Bay behind us, and we're about to leave Gia behind us. Nice breeze. Lots of rocks and shallows in the Sound of Gia to be avoided. Wending our way through them. Our route is south round the Mull of Kintyre, then east and north to Campbellton. From Gia, down round the Mull of Kintyre, and to Campbellton.
There's Dave having his first cup of tea in the morning.
Tea and toast, hooray! We've just left here, heading for the Mull of Kintyre.
Yuck.
9:24. We're doing a great tide assisted 7 knots, and Gia has faded away astern. The Mull is approaching. .33, we're approaching the Mull of Kintyre. Just about to start around it. We'll be heading off east in a moment. Skipper's just given us our tea, and very good it was. Banana piece.
Egg and cheese.
We are now thumping on with the tide at about 8 knots, but the wind has gone completely. So we'll be motoring round. And Gia is a distant memory and long out of sight. Over 9 knots, slipping round the Mull of Kintyre with the tide. Very pretty and getting nice and warm now, stripped down to t-shirts. Knots, boys. 10 knots. Rounding the Mull. Look at the skipper. Picture of decadence. Lounging in the sun. It's a lovely day now, lovely and warm too. .11 knots. It's coming through a bit of a race astern. And cracking on. Plenty of tidal swirls on the water. And round we go. That's us round the Mull. Still see a bit of a race there. But we're in relatively smooth waters here. And we've got some wind and we're sailing. Yippee! There's Sand Island. And we're romping.
Well, he thinks this is a good idea. On his own head be it. No aiding and abetting with Spinnaker.
Is that Trisha? Magic or what?
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
Has it got us moving?
No,
You pick your bottom dollar.
well, that's made a big difference. 2 knots, boys, we're racing.
$12.07, we got the Jenica up. There's no wind, 5 knots of wind. However, it's pulling us through the water about 2 or 3 knots. Look at that. Look at that. Magnificent. Pulling us gently along, a touch to the bowsprit. And all beautifully controlled with the sniffer. Gannets, mature and immature, Sanda Island astern, 120. We're ghosting along on a hands-free spinnaker into quite an adverse tide. There's only 10 knots of wind, but we're making 3 knots through the water, so not too bad. Well, 2.5 sometimes. But it's all right. The helmsman's not paying attention. He's too busy videoing. $2.29. We've just started the engine again. We've had a long, pleasant, slow spinnaker, hands-free spinnaker along the south coast of the Mull of Kintyre. And we're now about to turn north, and Davar Island, or Island of Davar, is poked out, and it's that guards Campbellton. And there it is. Out to starboard we have a yacht that gallantly, slowly sailed under plain sail all the way through there with us too. But they've started the motor as well. And over here we have Ailsa Craig. And way back yonder, Sanda Island on the Mull of Kintyre. The gannets are fishing. $3.25, which just as we approach Island Davar, we get a bit of a breeze. And where from? From ahead. Look, we're heeling. We have wind. Who could believe it? So we've got to go right round Island Davar and then into Campbellton. And there's Campbelltown opening out behind Island Davar. And we're just about to tack in. We're close hauled, and the only decent breeze we've had, no, not the only decent breeze we've had all day, but the only decent breeze we've had in hours. Heeling to a decent breeze from ahead. 4:25, we're tied up in Campbellton. And Trish is immediately getting her Wi-Fi connected. Roads. And lots of yotza. There's the guy that followed us in, persevered sailing as much as he could, where most people would motor. Swedish boat. There's the harbour master. and we're going to go to Alouette for safe arrivals. Here we are in Campbellton. This is Campbellton Marina Harbour. Lots of fancy boats in here. There's a fancy woman. So we're just off to walk to Tesco's to see what it's like.
Thursday, 27th of July. We're leaving Campbelltown at 10 o'clock. It's Ken, just heading off. We're heading for Loch Ranza today. It's not so windy, thankfully. The wind in the right direction. So we should be there about 2 o'clock, where we're meeting up with the rest of the guys who came through the Nairn Canal. We had a horrible time apparently. Didn't enjoy it one bit. So we're glad we came down to Gia and then round the Mull of Kintyre to here. We had a nice couple of nights here. So we're ready to go.
There they go. Thursday the 27th. There we are leaving Campbellton. We ate out last night again. No, we had fish and chips the night before, so it's hard eating out. But we ate out last night in a restaurant. And before that we had nibbles and pop and fizz with Ken. And after that we had nibbles and fizz in our boat. What a life. And there's the bar, clearly visible this morning. It was covered last night when we came around. And we're heading up to Arran, to Loch Ranza. It's Alouette up ahead. And that's Island of Ar off Campbellton to starboard. Linked to the land by that spit at low water.
We're passing this buoy with Kintyre on the port side. And
It's the Crusoe Rock.
Crusoe Rock. Dave on the helm. I can see him. I'll pan out of it. There he is. And Aaron on the starboard side. And we're heading for Loch Ranza. Not there, been there before. Well, I've not been. Dave's been. Plop. Meow.
Ping, ping.
And here we all are at Loch Ranza. We arrived just after 2, behind Rana, Witchy and Alouette. And since we've come in, blowing. Pretty little place. And then Sea Lark, followed by Mr. Ben and Rita. So everybody's in there. It's a pretty little place. We'll go for a walk later. Ken was waiting to take everybody's
I'm
ropes.
hungry now.
Aye, no wonder after all that.
Very, very hungry. I'm going back for my supper.
Aye. And here comes a little ferry into Loch Ranza. And what I was saying was, Ken was waiting at everybody's mooring buoy to take their ropes, which was very good because Dave's grabber failed to work. We had to do it about 4 times.
The mooring eye was too small. Here's what should happen. Watch. It's rather good. Got it? Look at that.
That's what should happen, you see, but it didn't.
I'm afraid it didn't, no. Because the mooring eye was too small to get a good go at it. Much more difficult if you're trying to get into some small mooring eye. But I've got it eventually, I dare say. 15:04, and we've just got moored up and tidied up, and look what happened in Loch Ranza. We heard a crack of thunder, loud and close, and now look at it. Whoa! Great to be beneath the spray hood and moored up. Just the place to be. Oh, look at it! Well, I've got all tidied. Got the mainsail cover on. Got double ropes onto the buoy. Here's Loch Ranza Castle. Got double ropes onto the buoy. And the skipper's below immediately. Look! Look what he's at. That's my one, the first one. I'll go halves with you. Woohoo! So that's just, oh look at that. Yippee! Just the thing to do when it's pouring it down, lashing it down, cats and dogs. Ooh, it's hot pancake. Hot, hot pancake. It's lashing. Loch Ranza Arn. The thunderstorm was brief and it's gone. It's lovely again. Skippers insisted I take her ashore now. First I had to dry her seat with a tissue, then I had to hand her aboard. Now I've got to row her ashore. She likes her creature comforts. Still, on we go. Fall in now.
Well, that's going to be wobbling all over the
No
place.
falling in. So that's the castle, and there we all are in a row. And yet if you come into the inner firth, inner loch, there's the shelter of the spit that the castle's on, and a little sanctuary in here. Probably dries out. And dinghies in the shingle bar, and the collies accompanying anyone who'll take them for a walk. Fine pastoral scene. There's the church. And the sheep. And this is Loch Ranza. Which she has issued an invitation to all Nairn boats to join her for drinks tonight. And the intrepid crews are making their way. She's already got a couple of tenders alongside. Early birds get the warm seats below, of course. Not much freeboard there. (9:23) in Loch Ranza, and that's the regular ferry docking. Last night we were in Witchy. The entire Nairn crew were on board for great hospitality, and as well as the crack, of course, we had the sing-song, we always do, and then rowed our way home in the pitch dark. And a good night was had by all. This morning the plan is to go to the coffee morning in Loch Ranza at 10 o'clock, and then on the bus at 12 off to Brodick, the centre, the metropolis of Arran. And the skipper's hoping to find a wool shop. The intrepid sailors are heading for the coffee morning in the village hall. There's Jim and Karen, and I've just stopped to take a wee look at the view from landward, which is very pretty. Tide's out, change scenery. A nice little pool for bilge keelers to lie in behind the castle. And that's Loch Ranza. To give you some idea of the exotic activities we get up to on our holidays, we've just been into Loch Ranza village hall to the coffee morning, and we've spent a good while there, blethering and drinking their tea. And when we come out, the sun is shining. There goes Patty impatiently. Get a move on, she says, and look at the view behind her. Just look at that. Rather good.
That's yours.
And here come Ken and Pauline.
No problem putting them in. My dog wasn't a nuisance, was it?
Now, I'm not really taking a picture of you, it's the backdrop that I'm interested in.
I don't blame you.
Look at the backdrop, it's beautiful.
Not bad, eh?
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah.
Coffee morning for you guys?
Oh, yeah.
That's great. The Nairn fleet is laid out in Loch Ranza. There's Amrita and Alouette. And Witchy and Rana and Windsong
And there's a toilet over there.
and Sealark.
All right.
The deer are grazing comfortably right beside the village hall.
Dog was playing football with them apparently.
Apparently, yeah, the deer are completely tame at Loch Ranza. side of the road. A heron is fishing.
You're off in the bath?
Yes. Well, we've gone for the coffee this morning.
Uh-huh.
And then we did a wee look round the castle. Was that another?
There go the troops. Here we are in Brodick. I'm afraid I slept most of the way in the bus. And we're in the Rock Cafe, which is huge. Hello. 1922. We came back from Brodick on the bus. Very nice. Rode out to Windsong and then rode down to Alouette for a confab on plans for tomorrow. And our plan with most of the fleet is to go down to Campbellton again, ready to round the Mull of Kintyre the following day. Jim Clark and Robbie Gordon are going to go instead north up and through the Caledonian Canal. And look at Loch Ranza tonight. Lovely. Beautiful. And Windsong's lying at anchor, well, no, it mooring very nicely. And we're just having a sandwich because we had a big meal during the middle of the day at Brodick. And then we're going to nip up to Mr. Ben for cocktails, would you believe? Well, it means Coke in my case. So, here we go. Here we are below having a quick sandwich before we go to Mr. Ben. Good morning, it's Saturday the 29th. We're just passing Skipness Bay and yet another castle. There we are. We're heading for the Caledonian Canal. We had a powwow last night, a fleet meeting, and decided with the forecast that we would go south again to Campbellton. And we were all going south to Campbellton except for Amrita and Sealark. However, we were first out of Loch Ranza and beating into 27 knots. Shortened sail, very shortened sail. Skipper wasn't happy. Our conclusion was that we would carry on to Campbellton, but I suggested we could easily go to Crinan. We didn't sign up to go to windward like this. And having said that, Skipper got a green one right in our lap. What a scolding I got. So we've now, as I suggested, turned around and we're enjoying a lovely Genoa only run north, and we're heading for the Caledonian Canal. We're about to turn northwest. Skipper's changed her clothes and she's plied us with tea and toast. She's feeling a bit better now. Eh, what?
Lightly.
She got a green one right in her lap. I saw it coming and ducked under the spray hood. I was in time. I saw it leaping into the air and preparing to descend on us, and I nipped under the spray hood.
You warned me.
You couldn't move. Here we are, full plain sail, 6.5 knots, 7.5 knots a moment ago. Here we go again, 7 knots, 7.5, whee! 7.5 knots, plain sail, flat water, cracking up Loch Fyne. Kyle's a butte up there, butte itself there. Port of Addy just ahead of the starboard beam. We are having a great sail. We're actually quite pleased we didn't go south to Campbellton. This is a lovely sail.
Quite pleased isn't the understatement of the year.
8.5 knots. 8.5 knots. Wee-hee! Yee-hoo! Eight and a half knots. Flat water plain sail. Great sailing. Look at the wake. There's someone motoring up behind us. How could they? (9:53), cracking up lock fine. Even had reduced the head sail a wee bit. Well, the skipper said we had reduced the head sail a wee bit. Port of Addy to starboard. The ferry just crossing ahead of us. And Tarbert to port. And we're meshing on 7-8 knots. It's great. Really good. The fleet are behind us. I think someone's motoring. We've just locked up our dishig. We're in the sea lock at the top. Rana got in with us, but Mr. Ben didn't, so he's waiting for the next locking. And Witchy and Alouette are in the offing, I think. They're not far away anyway. So here we all are. In the canoe.
Do you get my 7?
Here we are, top of the sea lock, Ardrishig. One of a party of 4, just about to go through the swing bridge. There's Mr. Ben, waiting outside for his turn, along with the motorboat. Well, the rest of the team have arrived. That's Mr. Ben alongside us. Witchy and Alouette there. So I presume we'll go through together. We're in the basin waiting for the next locking. Here's Rosie coming in. Oh yeah. Well, after complete chaos at the canal basin at the south end of the canal, with the lock keepers letting boats through when they shouldn't and piling them all up together and boats swirling round, This is what Trish imagined the canal to be like. Now she's happy. Here we go. And up there's Loch Gilpid. Trish says this is preferable to battering round the Mull of Kintyre in force 5-6. I have to agree. Either way would have been fine for me. 11:03, and we've come through from the bottom of the locks at Cairnban, and we're out through number 8 and on that pontoon. We're waiting for the rest of the guys to catch up before we make this reach, then up to the set of locks at Dunardry. We've had a cup of tea. And here we are, rafted alongside Mr. Ben. We're about to go back and help the other Nairnites through this lock before we set off along the reach. The rain has stopped. There's a gentle breeze. You have to keep the midges down, so all is well with the world at the moment. And that's where we're going. We're about to do this short stretch here, down to Dunardry. Then a whole lot of locks, one after the other, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then a long reach. There's Tom, most busy man of our party. Tending everybody's lines, working lock gates. He's looking good. That's us through the last lock at Dunardry. Now we're making our way unhindered, unfettered, all the way to Crinan. Hooray! There we go. There we go.
Past a very picturesque little bridge. Sun is shining, day is
Picturesque.
unveiling. Well, not sure about picturesque. We can see the sea. I'm just passing the marina here. And Mr. Ben behind.
Hear the buzzard crying up ahead. Use my horn.
I remember the little artist studio when we walked along here. Ooh, right in my lug.
Be pretty.
So busy videoing, you miss it. There's Clyde. Got the polytunnel.
West Highland Committee Board, West Highland.
Another bridge coming up. Here we all are in the last lock at Crynan. I had a quick dash to the little shop at the chandlery and got our baked bread because we're running a bit short and bottled water. We managed to get a quick sandwich, fill up with water. Jim and Robbie Gordon were here to help, so that was great. They did the water with Dave and I ran to the shop. And here we are, we're ready to get out. We're going to anchor here tonight and wait for Captain Rosie and Eleanor.
On?
No, I'm good, thanks.
No?
No, thank you.
Here we are, the last lock waiting to get out. have plenty of help here, which has been great.
Here we are all in the sea lock at Crinan, just about to go down. There's a puffer. Two puffers perhaps, there's certainly one. Well, we got anchored just in time, just round the corner from Crinan. The locks. Perfect shelter there from the southwesterly that's forecast, but it's 4 or 5 anyway. And we got anchored, as I said, just in time, because look what's happened. No sooner did we get below, listen to that. Wow! Am I glad I'm safe and dry below? Just in time, I didn't get wet at all. All my fenders in, all my fender socks on, my fender skirt in, anchor bit in and holding, tripping line on the anchor in case, because we're in a mooring spot. And look at and listen to that. It is pelting. Can you see it? It's pelting. And we're snug and dry beneath the spoon. Skipper's throwing a party tonight. Well, a soiree. Just west of Crinan. And a nice little bay it is. Alouette. There's Witchy. There's Amrita. And Sea Lark.
Here are our first guests.
Oh, hello.
It's the Quillams.
We're too early. We'd go for a
No, you're not too early.
circle
Can I take it
round.
round, mate?
How are you?
Yes.
I'll park.
All right.
Okay.
Exhausted.
Depends on what time they come out.
Yeah, I think it's a slight worry. If we don't, so we were thinking about other options that are a bit kind of more forgiving.
And we started
Was
thinking
your
here.
anchorage that you're talking about, Ken? Is that the one where you beached the boat?
No, it's not. It's not a beaching job, but
I thought it must have been the next one down.
yeah.
And about the meeting up and stuff.
Yeah.
What a beautiful morning.
It's one cracker of a morning. Here we are, anchored in a little bay just west of the Caledonian Canal entrance. We had a shindig on Woodsong last night. Trish had a party. And we did a lot of discussion about where we would go this morning and decided on Ardnamere. And that's Ken coming round to say, Loch Melford would be better because it doesn't involve the same tidal restrictions as Ardnamere, and that's quite correct. So that's where we'll be headed, which frees us all up. There's no tight deadlines either today or tomorrow for getting out of Ardnamere, which is tidal. So that's great. Ken's also saying, why don't we nip round and see Donald and Brian this morning? So he'll put an outboard on his dinghy and we will nip round. Donald has made a triumphant return to the fleet. Excellent, having gone down the east coast, through the Forth and Clyde, down through the Clyde, through the Caledonian Canal, and back round to the west coast to meet the fleet. Mostly single-handed. What a man. And there he is. Tuesday the 1st, 8:15. Dingy dingy dingy. Here we are. Here we are circling the Melford anchorage. Morning, Gary. Rain again.
Don't morning this morning.
Yeah.
What a surprise.
Nice enough though. Morning, Donald.
Morning, a lovely sunny morning.
Aha, yes.
Great, isn't it? This sweltering here. I'm gonna go get
You're gonna get diesel, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
See you in Nairn.
Yes, it means a safe journey.
Well, if not before.
Well, I could see later on this evening.
Yeah.
I'll have to open and see the officers.
Aye, haha.
Don't be there.
Morning, Jim.
How are we doing, folks?
Good, good.
Another comfy night.
Yeah, very good, yes. Yeah,
Right, yeah, good.
yeah.
So should we just head off now?
Yeah, I think so. Try and get some sailing in. Yeah, we just got to miss the... Straight out there, Trish.
Straight out there.
Straight out, yeah. Just so long as we're seaward of the marker there, which we are. And there we go. It's 9 o'clock on Tuesday the 1st. We've left Kilmelford well astern. We're cracking on a close reach at over 7 knots. Fantastic sailing. 18 knots of wind or so. And we're heading for the Coon Sound. We're going to carry the flood tide all the way up to Loch Allen. We're going via Oban. People who want to stop at Oban may do so. Donald stayed behind to get diesel this morning. He'll follow us up, and he thinks he might get to Loch Allen tonight. We shall have to wait and see. Crack! 8.4 knots, we're passing Cleat Rock in the Coon Sound. You can see the tide racing through, and we are racing through with it. And the fleet are behind us, coming behind us nicely. We're sweeping through Coon Sound at 7 knots. There's Ken videoing us, videoing him. And the fleet are sweeping through behind.
feet to go.
Yeah. There's the Cuan ferry. That's the Ling landing for the Cuan ferry. And there we go, out to sea. Out to Easdale. And the skipper has guided us through again, yet again through the Cuan.
Yeah.
He's getting to be an old hand and blasé about it now. We're doing 9 knots at the exit to Cuan, and you can see Alouette getting swirled about in the tide. (9:43), and here we are approaching Easdale Sound. It's well buoyed. There's a starboard hand beacon here, but we've got to keep close to it because there are rocks off to port. And that's the island of Easdale, the slate island of Easdale. And that's the village. It's the village of Ellenbeek. And we've spotted the starboard hand beacon. It's just camouflaged against the pier. And we're going in. That rock there to port to be avoided. And there's the beacon against the pier. And we're sailing through. Anything past? There's the ferry. Yeah, you're looking good. See, that's a port hand mark there. You've got to go.
Right round it like Alouette.
Like Alouette, yeah, exactly so. We go in here.
It's extremely close to these rocks.
And that's us through. And Richie storming in behind. (12:14), and here we are in the Sound of Mull, passing Glas Ellen, heading for Loch Allen, which is not far away at all. Just had our tea, and there's Glas Ellen. (12:34), the wind's down to nothing, so the skipper's called for the engine and has duly put it on. But a stone's throw merely from Loch Allen anyway. And there's Loch Allen right there. So we're headed in. And ahead of us are Witchy and Amrita. Alouette has already gone in. Here we are in Loch Allen. It's lovely. We've been ashore, had showers, had tea, had Jim on board for tea when we arrived. There we are. And we're now headed to Alouette for tiffin. All roads lead to Alouette. These pontoons are new in Loch Allen, and also new is a fine toilet block and facilities up there, where we've been for our showers. Wait a minute. Hello, Pauline.
Oh, hello. Welcome to Alouette.
Ah, we've just been
Just been on for tea and cake. Lovely cake.
and lovely tea. Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice cake.
Yes,
Yeah.
Rather good.
Speaking, Gary, what will we say for Amrita? Amrita has now promoted Richard to first mate.
I'm first mate. What's to prove it?
With a back injury.
Typical teenager.
She's hiding.
No.
He will move. Oh, yes, in the corner. Yeah, there he is.
Jim Clark on his own because he smells. Smells good to me. Being abandoned.
He's been to the shower.
My phone up.
Hello. Right, I'm going to go up on deck now and capture them up there.
Cheap seats are up the top there. Cheers, Dave.
Yes, cheers. Yes.
Great holiday, buddy.
Yeah, excellent.
Sir, how are you?
I'm well, Tom, and
Good.
especially after all your help.
Dave, you've thanked me enough. But don't stop. Go.
He loves the praise.
Bring it on.
Next time you're east, it is safe. So we'd be going into Port Ramsey and we'd be there by about 11 o'clock, which hopefully will miss the worst of the windy conditions. And that of witching!
Hey!
Let's hear it for witching! Here they come.
Here she comes.
And next now we have the crew of Amrita! Yay.
Thank you, David.
Next,
Thank you.
we have half the crew of Windsor! It's blue, it's blue, it's blue. Windsor! And next we have the one and only crew of Cedar! Yay! Next we have the crew. Next we have the full crew of Alouette. Pauline, Alec, and Commodore Ken. And finally, we have the crew of Mr. Ben. Yay! Last of all, we have Commodore Tom.
Hey! Well done, guys. Oh, what a show. What a show.
Have you videoed yourself yet?
No, I'm never in the videos. No.
Where do you think, Dave? Where do you want? Well, I was thinking if you're on here looking down.
There we are, just to prove that Dave is actually here
Yes.
and that I didn't come all this way on my own. He's here, he's here. There he is, chief photographer.
Hello.
And they've brought their child.
Yes.
Or is it a garden gnome?
Dum. Hey, you gotta hide your love away. Hey, you got to hide your love away.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Down California. You can run and run. Okay. Michelle, Marvel, these are words that go together well. My Michelle, Michelle, ma belle, sont mes mots qui vont très bien ensemble, très bien ensemble.
Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown. Accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing. Come riders and critics who prophesy with pen, and keep your eye. Oh wait, I can see it. No, I can't.
Because you've got a net over your head.
Everywhere I look, your eyes are fine. For me to love you now could be the sweetest thing to make me sing. Ah, but I may as well try and catch the wind.
My home and my family, I was no more than a boy in the company of strangers, in the quiet of a railway station, running scared, laying low, seeking out the poorer corners where the ragged people go, looking for the places only they would know.
Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie.
When the night is come, time is hard. It's so good to be out. Oh, we're not there yet.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
We're not.
Sorry.
I'm not even finished the song.
It's following you.
Oh, the intro's still there, yeah. My happiness, hello loneliness, think I'm going to cry. My love goodbye. There goes my baby with someone new. She sure looks happy, I sure am blue. My baby, till he stepped in, goodbye to romance that might have been. Bye-bye, man, way down in New Orleans. Now, fun, tell your children not to do what I've done. control to Major Tom. Engines on.
I have shipped on
On a Yankee sailing ship, Davy Crockett is her name, and Burgess is the captain of her, and they say that she's afloat in shape. So fare thee well, my own true love, and when I return united we will be up the right. It's time to leaving of Liverpool and grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee, to a wild mountain tide, all around the moonlit heaven, will ye go, lassie, go? I will build my love a bower, green grow the rushes old, green grow the rushes old. The sweetest food that e'er I spent was spent among the lasses old, was spent among the lasses old.
I'm recording. It's a new band called the Midginets. Take it away, Midginets.
In a yellow.
Something together would be good.
We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine. We all live in a midginet world, a midginet world, a midginet world. I'll see you in my dreams.
Don't know that one.
I do, yeah.
Oh,
I think they're all too young.
Colours can tie.
it's world famous.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that.
That's
You're like a
much
terrorist. Take these suckers and learn to see all your life. You're only waiting for this moment to be free.
Was at the break of dawn.
Look out your window and I'll be gone.
You're the reason I'm traveling on.
Don't think twice, it's alright.
It ain't no use in turning on your light, babe. That light I never know. Ain't no use in turning on your light, babe. I'm on the dark side of the road. Lean and angry, his eyes were smoky grey. He was lean across the hardys, but his shoulders they were big. The terror of
The Healing Glen
that
was the poetry kid.
Portree he put it in the door and sauntered to the bar.
Gosh, have a job. No. I do, yes.
I wheeled a wheelbarrow through streets broad and narrow, saying cockles and mussels alive, alive, oh.
Sometimes I lives in the country, sometimes I lives in the town, sometimes I gets me a notion to jump in the river and drown. Irene, good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. The last song, the
It's a cracker of a morning in Loch Allen, and preparations are underway to make to sea. And these pontoons are crowded. Alas, it seems to be the case that people just go to pontoons. This is the first time I've been in these pontoons in Loch Allen. I always anchor. I love anchoring in Loch Allen. But the allure of showers and pontoons, especially in a group, it's just too much for us. Had a cracker of a ceilidh last night. The midges ate us alive. There's Windsong poised, and our skipper is equally poised in our bunk below. I better get cracking, in fact, and get organised. What a morning. What a morning. Okay, here I go to get organised. That's us leaving Loch Allen moorings, or pontoons rather. Jim Clark right behind. Mr. Ben just manoeuvring there. Alouette, Amrita and Witchy up ahead. And there is a gentle wind from the south, which when we exit Loch Allen, we'll be able to set our sails to. And it's a lovely, lovely morning with the clouds hanging on the hills of Mull. Beautiful. There we go. Exiting Loch Allen with the tide. The last of the ebb. A lovely morning. Mr. Ben and Sea Lark. And up ahead, the rest of the fleet. Gucci, Amrita, and Alouette. That's the skipper with the tea. There we go.
Not only tea, but toast.
Otto's in charge. We're straight into the wind so far, but as soon as we round the corner, we're doing a beam reach. And there's quite a bit of wind, so that's great. There's the Linn of Morven opening up for us now. Lismore ahead. That's rolling to the wake of the ferry, which has just gone past. Oh, it's a long way past. Way up yonder. The wind has dropped to 5 knots and gone ahead from the north. There we are, motoring up the Lynn of Morven, heading for our anchorage at Ramsey. There's Gary, doing exactly the same thing. And there's Jim and Mr. Ben. And well up ahead, Amrit and Alouette. 9:28, the skipper's on the scones. Just had a confab with Ken and we decided we'll press on to the canal instead of Port Ramsey because the forecast for tomorrow is strong northerlies, so I'd rather go up with this weak northerly or possibly a strong southerly today than be battling into strong northerlies tomorrow. Here's Jim overtaking us. Well, we'll maybe not let him overtake, but he's caught us up. We'll just keep up with him, I think. And Mr. Ben. Look at that.
No cutter, just odd shapes, but never mind.
Oh no, that's not good enough. I don't want an odd shaped scone.
Want an odd shape?
No.
I've been them.
Yes.
Be cool in 5 minutes.
Woohoo! I've had to up the engine revs to keep up with Jim Clark, who's pushing on there. He was going to overtake us, but we're just marking time with him now. Similarly, Mr. Ben was going to overtake us, but is now marking time with us. And there's the bold bends. There they go. Cruising. Jim. Look at the day. Sunbathing.
He's in his
11:30.
He's in his knickers.
Sunbathing in bare feet in the cockpit.
Look at that. We weren't expecting this.
That's us approaching the Corran Narrows now. There's about 2 knots of tide with us going through here, but we haven't picked it up yet. Jim is now ahead, he's putting the boot down, I think. Here we are, rushing through the Corran Narrows of the tide, getting about 2 knots tidal assistance here. There's the ferry. And the lighthouse. And there's the tide rushing us through. There's a swirl. The helmsman's getting swirled with the tide. maybe we should say David and Tom and Anne are recovering their dinghy. There it goes. And Jim is still up ahead. We're through the Cordon Narrows and heading up Loch Linney for Fort William and Corpac and the canal. And now it's lunchtime on the cockpit table. Solid. Excellent.
We've just left Corpac Double Sea Lock.
It's 9:20.
It's 9:20, Dave says. He's got his midgie net on already.
There have been midges this morning already, although at the moment there's just enough breeze perhaps, or is it us moving?
Raining a little after sunny this morning. The rain is never far away.
And the clouds are low on the hills up ahead. Very picturesque.
We're heading to the jetty at Banavie, is it? To wait for the next locking up.
Yeah.
And then we're doing double lockings up. So that is the plan. Oh, quite close to Amrita there.
It's seriously manoeuvrable though, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, they could touch the fenders just about, couldn't they? He's not telling us to move, so he must think that he can get through.
Yeah.
Angry beast. Morning.
Oh yeah.
He made it. There she goes.
Hey, Bora.
She's got the boats behind her as well, Ken, right?
Fresh way.
There goes the steam train. Which is what we're waiting for before they can open the gate. Here she comes.
.225 and a nice tight squeeze at Moy Swing Bridge and Lock. 3 abreast.
We've got the big boat coming out anyhow, so we'll probably get him in behind it.
What are you saying, Paddy?
There's this taking
Here we are, we've burst out of Gearlocky and we're idling because we're putting in time waiting for Jim, who didn't get through in that locking. I like Loch Lochy this time. Woohoo! Broad reaching! Even considerate enough to broad reach on the port tack and therefore keep our port fenders out of the water so I don't have to ship them. Oh, magnifique! All heading into Lagan Locks now at 4:25. Motoring in, but boy, what a transit of Loch Lochy this time compared to the last time. Fantastic sail, 7.5, 8 knots, romping on, sailing. Wind on the beam or abaft the beam. Fantastic. Look at Loch Lochy today. Lovely. Skipper was in her element. So there we are, guys. Lagan Locks approaching. Hope to get through them, and we hope really to make Fort Augustus of it today. Here we are in Lagan Locks, we're first in. There's Ken. And here comes Gold Dust. Whole family are on board enjoying themselves. And they're passing up their line on a boat hook. Well, one is using that method and the other one is thrown. Susan's passed it up on a boat hook. Good move. Here comes Witchy. And here comes Amrita. And here's Mr. Ben. Lotus squeezing in to go 3 abreast.
Look, pleased to see you.
Give us a wave, guys. Hey!
Hey!
A distinguished looking gentleman.
Good evening. How are you this fine day?
I'm very good. Are you on the crossword?
I am.
Excellent.
And I'm not stuck yet.
Here's the Nairn fleet at the Well of the Seven Heads, 7 o'clock in the evening. We're planning a riotous evening with music and punch. I've no doubt it will be fine. We've just been having drinks on Muchie. And there they all are. Quite a pretty sight. How's that? Nairn fleet on the mooring. And just along from the pontoon is an attractive liveaboard. Well, I think it's a liveaboard anyway. Plenty of vegetation growing there. Vegetable garden. Or weed. Idyllic. Well, that's us leaving the Well of the Seven Heads. It's Friday the 5th and it is pissing down. Not nice. And it looks grey from horizon to horizon and beyond. It's thick mist, thick rain everywhere. So here we
we are, bright and breezy, heading down on our way home.
Look who's here. It's Eleanor. Swallows are chirping under the bridge. It says left Kaloki. Next stop Kaitra. A very futuristic looking vessel. Here we are, winging it out of Fort Augustus. We have a good quick passage down. And we're first out the lock, bursting out like a cork from a bottle. Here we go, into Loch Ness. And the fleet astern. But I'll be putting the boat down. I'll not stay astern for long. Now I want to show you a strange landmark which we spied on our way down. Now it's over there somewhere. There it is. That's a sail sticking out of the water with the hull in the water, below water. And it's been like that for, what, 3 weeks now. A sunken boat with the sail out of the water. How extraordinary. Here come the fleet out of Fort Augustus. There's Witchy. And Gold Dust. And Amrita. And Mr. Ben. And behind Alouette. And Loch Ness stretching out before us, despite the fairly dull overcast weather, and the rain is off at the moment. It's a nice soft rain, and it's very pleasant. And the loch is looking good. A little sombre perhaps, but looking good for all that. Motoring hard up Loch Ness, far harder than I would like, keeping up with the Nairn troops. And here we are at Urquhart Castle. The wind, what little there is, 3 or 4 knots, is right on the nose. And we're having intermittent light showers. The castle is heaving with tourists. Boatloads of them observing from the loch. It's 16:36. It says Indoch Fur, closing in Indoch Garach. We've passed the wheel. Mr. Ben hard behind, and the skipper on the helm. Saturday the 5th of August, The sun is shining, and here we are leaving Dochgarroch. Nairn fleet are astern and line. And we're inching past the moored boats. And it's a glorious morning. Aren't we lucky? This is the home of the rowing club. They've got these nice water level pontoons for launching their boats. Here we are at Tomnachurich Swing Bridge already. It's only 8:38. And Trish has just been on the radio, and the bridge operator says once we've all gathered, he's going to put us straight through. Excellent. That's us through the Tomnachurich Swing Bridge, and we get through almost immediately.
If the Muirtown bridges are working today, and what time they're going to be swung, and if so, what time we have to
Coming past Cali Marina with its great array of boats. Quite right.
Did you have a late night then?
It wasn't too bad. Did you have an early one? Did you get a decent sleep?
I had a great sleep then.
Here we all are at the top of Muirton Locks. We've arrived about 9 o'clock. The next locking is 11 o'clock. So we're off to get something for tonight's dinner down to the Co-op.
There's not be any advantage.
And they, because you all you have to do is cling to that slimy wall, isn't it? Once you're down.
Here we are approaching Cloughnahary Sea Lock at last. And it looks like an excellent sailing wind. Looking really good. And here they all come. There's Keswick Bridge. We're out. We're rushing towards the Keswick Bridge, and look at the tidal assistance. Look at the tide there.
2.5 knots of tide.
There's the Inverness Marina, and there's the Keswick Bridge. We've had to put the motor back on, just no wind at all. Here we are scorching out with the tide by the Mickle Me Boy. And Patricia has just served afternoon tea. Look at this. Look at that.
Yeah.
And we're sailing, hooray!
Some wind got up. And Dave and Richie are sailing to
20 to 4, this is the
Rosemarkie.
life.
I'm speaking. Grind. Oh, go. Interesting. There's our dinghy regatta going on over at Fortress. Well attended. We've run out of wind now.
You rotter!
Witchy is
Oh, it was a great sail. Well, the skipper's tidying up after supplying us with a delicious dinner. Salmon and tatty and sweet corn, etc, etc. And we're at Rosemarkie. And the whole fleet are at Rosemarkie. Witches at Rosemarkie. Sea Lark and Mr. Ben are at Rosemarkie. Alouettes at Rosemarkie. We're at Rosemarkie. Marita's at Rosemarkie. And Gold Dust is at Rosemarkie. We're all here, and there's a delightful northerly wind off the shore that's going to rock us up to Nairn. And we'll get out of here by 7:30 and up to Nairn for the tide. It'll be goodbye Rosemarkie and hello Nairn. And just across the firth from Rosemarkie, of course, there's the outer Murray Firth out there and Nairn up there. And just across here is Fort George. There's Fort George, and panning round just a little bit further. obscured completely by gold dust, is the Shannery Lighthouse. There it is, just peeking out. And panning round further, we've got the Shannery Golf Club. That's where we usually lie, over there. But here is equally good. And they're off. It's 7:38 and the fleet are headed for Nairn. All in a nice row. That's Witchy scampering for home at the end of the summer cruise. The rest of the fleet doing exactly the same thing.